I want people to understand that our office secured convictions on financial crimes that will keep Alex Murdaugh in prison for several more decades. So he's not going anywhere. We obviously intend to retry this case because at the end of the day, people need to be reminded that 2 people were violently murdered back in June of 2021. And we believe that we have credible evidence that supports the conclusions that we came to the first time, and we intend to pursue those again.
South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson ready to prosecute Alex Murdaugh all over again as the conviction in the double murder of his wife and son are overturned and a new trial is ordered after claims of jury tampering. Our next guest helped with the win of that appeal. Dick Harpootlian, as well as Jim Griffin, are Alex Murdaugh's lead defense attorneys, and they join us now. I just want to play this flashback, Dick, of the clerk first. Let's play it. Do we have that?
As the clerk of court, I tend to be more like a Switzerland in dealing with everyone. I take no sides, and I have to be accommodating to everyone in the courtroom, no matter what side you're on. Our jurors knew that part of their job was to perceive the defendant as being innocent until proven guilty.
So, Dick, the court obviously did not agree with that, the Supreme Court, because it was a unanimous decision.
Well, they not only didn't agree with it, they found she was a liar. She committed perjury, and she was lying about lobbying the jury to convict Alex Murdaugh. No question about it. Jurors said it. Her staff said it. And she thought that would help her sell a book if he was found guilty. She told people that. This is incredible, but our Supreme Court got it right. The rule of law is alive and well in South Carolina.
So, Jim, have you had the opportunity to talk to your client? What is he saying about this?
I certainly did. Talked to him yesterday on our way up. He is very thankful for the result of the Supreme Court. Interestingly, he's somewhat surprised because every step of the way during this process, every legal ruling seemed to have gone against him. And we told him after the oral argument in the Supreme Court that it went really well and we're very hopeful. He was very skeptical, and he told me, frankly, he said, Jim, I just read the opinion, and I still have a hard time believing it. It's just sinking in now. And so, but I can tell you he is very relieved that he has gotten the label of convicted murderer of his wife and son off of him, and we plan to keep it off of him.
So, Dick, the Attorney General, he intends on trying this case again.
Well, let me remind you, the Attorney General's running for governor for a primary that's June 9th. And so when you hear what he has, first of all, there's no way this case gets tried before January of next year. I mean, it couldn't even be tried in January just because of the logistical problems. So he may talk about trying it, but he won't be Attorney General this time next year. Mm-hmm. So it's great politics, great theater, but has nothing to do with the realities of the criminal justice system.
Jim, y'all still do have an evidence issue that's working against you. Most people believe that your client did this crime. If it wasn't your client, who does your client believe did this? Who murdered his wife and son?
Well, LJ, you say most people. I can tell you that most people that I talk to don't believe he did it. His family doesn't believe he did it, and they don't believe he could have done it. The evidence, frankly, doesn't support that he did it. Do we have an alternative suspect? No, we wish we did, but we have multiple alternative theories. After he was convicted the first time, we got a lot of tips, and we suspect that the state got a lot of tips. We've tried to follow up on those tips, but, we're limited with our resources. Now that we're back to square one, we think that gives us more.
When you say tips, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, what do you mean tips? What are they alleging took place?
Well, I can tell you generally, we received tips about where the murder weapons are. We received tips about who was in the area that night and what motives they had. Yeah, and so I don't really want to go further than that. But, yeah, we have been provided information, a lot of information.
Is it your view, Dick, that your client is going to be found innocent in this case?
Well, you never predict. You're a big Cowboys fan. You never really can predict it's a sure win, especially with the Cowboys. But
I'll take that.
But In this instance, let's back off. I mean, he was not only prejudiced by these financial crimes, the court said yesterday should not have come in. He's got somebody back there lobbying the jury to find him guilty. If you strip all that away, what do they have? They don't have any forensics tying him to the murder scene. No DNA, no blood, no fingerprints. They have no weapons. They have no ballistics. They have, matter of fact, there is technical evidence that would indicate he wasn't there. So,
and there's no motive.
No motive.
I mean, the manufactured motive that the state presented is ludicrous.
So for the next trial, I mean, it's contingent on every judge to allow this evidence in. Are y'all trying to get an appeal, not just on this case, but for the financial crimes as well?
So he pled to the financial crimes.
Right.
And he had never denied he did that. And frankly,
So why don't y'all think it should be used in the case when it comes to
remember,
the murder
what
conviction?
they said yesterday was this. It may be that some of that is relevant.
Correct.
But what you can't do is call the brother of a disabled child who is that Alex stole their money and paint this horrid picture of them going without food or whatever. And they did that over and over and over. That doesn't come in. This is called 404 evidence. It's only comes in to prove motive. Why do you need to know that? That didn't calculate, I'm going to go kill my parents and nobody knows about that. I mean, kill my wife and child because nobody knows that. We, from the front said, from the get-go said, that argued with the judge, this doesn't prove motive, even if you let all that in.
It's a fascinating case. He deserves a fair trial, and obviously the Supreme Court didn't feel like he got it the first time around. But we'll be following the case. We appreciate y'all, counselors.
Well, thank you for having us today.
You got it. More Fox events straight ahead.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.